Hi traders, welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to answer the question, can ChatGPT create a Forex trading strategy? And the short answer is yes. What is a strategy? Well, a strategy is just a basic defined rule set of entry, exit, target criterias, risk management criterias. So in theory, then ChatGPT should be able to create us a trading strategy. Now, how advanced that trading strategy is, who knows? Let's see what we can do. Now, I'm just going to type in ChatGPT. Can you make a Forex trading strategy? We'll put with risk management, stop and entry parameters, and let's see what it spits out. So here we go. It says designing a Forex strategy involves creating a systematic plan for entering, managing and exiting trades. Here's a basic strategy integrating technical analysis, risk management and entry stop parameters. So what's it giving us? It's giving us a Forex trading strategy, a moving average crossover with an RSI filter. Okay, so what it's saying is, as a technical indicator, we want to use the moving averages, a 50 period simple moving average and a 100 period simple moving average and a relative strength index 14 period. Entry rules. So a buy entry is going to be the 50 period SMA crosses above the 100 period SMA and the RSI should be above 50, indicating bullish momentum. On the sell entry, it says the 50 period SMA crosses below the 100 period SMA. RSI should be below 50, indicating bearish momentum. Stop loss for a buy trade, place the stop loss just below the recent swing low. For a sell trade, place the stop loss just above the recent swing high. Target a risk reward ratio of at least a 1 to 2. So for example, if you have a 20 pip stop loss, you want to be targeting 40 pips. Position size, never risk more than 1 to 2%, and then review at the end of each week. It also gives us, add some considerations and things like that. Right, so why don't we jump into this and see if this strategy is actually something that is viable to us. So let me bring over a fresh chart and we will discuss that. So I've got a fresh chart in front of us. We're going to test this little bit of the theory. I'm actually going to go to an hourly time frame. And we're just going to see how it does on an hourly time frame. So I'm on Euro US dollar here. We're going to add the indicators that it suggested. So the first indicator is going to be a simple moving average. So we're going to click simple moving average. So let's grab two of those because we need the 50 and the 100. So we're going to go with the 100 and then we're going to do the 50 as red. I always do 50 as red. I don't know why, but let's just pop that on there as well. So the other indicator that we need is a relative strength index, and it needs to be a 14 period RSI. So I'm going to bring in the RSI, relative strength index. We're going to go into the settings here. It's already on 14, which is great. What I'm going to do though is just turn this into something that we can actually see. I'm just going to add that into there. Don't need the RSI based MA. I'm not going to bother with that. Don't need any kind of upper bands here on the RSI in terms of the Bollinger Bands. We do need these though. So the only thing it does say is the RSI should be above 50, indicating bullish momentum. So we don't really need the RSI upper band or lower band. We do need this middle band here. So I'm going to make that super important. Let's do that as a sort of large red line, so we can see that price is either above or below. And what I'm going to do is remove the background there. Okay, so we've got our 50 line there. We've got the moving averages on there. So let's go and take a look at a few examples of when price crossed over and then how we could maybe take advantage of a potential move. Whether this will be any good or not, I don't know. I've just typed in what we've typed in into ChatGPT, let's just see how it performs. I'm going to go back a little bit just so we can get a little bit more information onto the chart. And actually, I'm going to go to a 4-hour time frame. I feel like a 4-hour time frame would be a bit more of a better parameter for what's going on, you know, because you can get the longer sort of trend periods. Probably a daily would even be okay. So let's just kick it off here. We'll go all the way back to the 25th of October. This is where we get our first crossover, and this is where the RSI indicator is above 50. So the crossover, if we let's just zoom into that crossover point that we are discussing, it's right here. I need to make sure that that is the crossover point. Okay, so on that candle close there is the crossover point. So we're going to be placing a buy entry here. Now it says our stop loss for a buy trade, place the stop loss just below the recent swing low. So if I was to do that, I'm looking at the swing low, which would be either down here or even down here. So I'm going to put my swing low there. The target, so how do we get out of this? Target a risk reward ratio of at least 1 to 2. So let's just pop in a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio there. Obviously there are other management techniques that you can do, so maybe we could look at maybe when price crosses over again. So let's just see how this one plays out. Obviously that is a successful trade there. Now let's see how it would have played out if we had the reverse sort of opportunity, in terms of, I can see that price here crosses over the band. It's not really a clear cross though, is it? Let's have a look for a clear cross. So here we get a clear cross there on Wednesday the 8th. So if I go up to that sort of area where we get that crossover, it's going to be around about 1.07. Let's just pop that there. So really speaking, we could have got at least 4.4 R trade out of that one. I think that would be better than starting to look for a 2 to 1, because the thing with moving averages is if they don't cross over and you get a long period of trend, you're going to miss out on that trend. Do RSI crossovers work though? I do feel like you need to add a little bit more context to it, so we will do that in a little second. We can try and see if we can make it perform a little bit better. Let's go take a look at the next one then. So like I said, if you're going to get out here, we're going to use this as almost like a little bit of an algo, in terms of that's the entry criteria. Swing high, I would say, is up here. This one definitely does not work out. In fact, we would probably be getting out around there. You can see that at that point we've got the two conditions being met. We've got the 50 above the 100 just through here. We've got price on the RSI above 50. So if anything, we're probably going to be out of that trade for break even. So, you know, the way I'll be looking at that is maybe around there. So maybe just a very small loss. And then we want to buy there. So if we're going to be buying here, we're going to be putting our stop loss below the swing low. We're going to be looking for minimum 2 to 1, or when price crosses over again, and price crosses over around about here. So do we get the 2 to 1 criteria? No. We get around about, where's the crossover? Around about there. So we get around about that 1.09 area. So just a little bit down here. So you get about a 0.8 R return, which isn't fantastic. Okay, it's not the worst, it's still profit. That's what we like to see. Let's get in then when we see that momentum shift. So the swing high, I'm going to leave there. We're going to look for the 2R minimum. We got the 2R on that one. If we had waited for the crossover back to the other side, then you would see that we do get a little bit less on our return there. Again, let's have a little look at this way. So you can see we're above the 50. We've got the crossover. If we went long there, swing lows. Now this is going to also come to your definition of what a swing low and a swing high is. You can class these as swing lows. I look for real key turning points. So for me, it's what's visual to me, and I'd say at least that 80 pip. What we could do to make this a little bit better, to be honest, is let's add an ATR, because the way I'm going through this, and this is how you should always look at your trading, I like to look at ATRs as an option just to give me an idea of what the momentum's doing in the market, what the volatility is in the market, and I do think you should place your stop losses in line with momentum. So at the time, this one is saying that we should have at least a 28 pip stop loss. Now the 28 pip stop loss is not even going to bring us to the low of that candlestick there. So that's a little bit more aggressive. I'm going to just change the settings on the ATR from 14. We're going to go to Let's go to 5 at least. Okay, so 5 ATR at this time it's around about 30 pips. I'll probably add that to the low. So you see that it says 30 pips. I'll probably go then for a 60 pip stop loss. Okay, so 1.4 ATR at the low. So we've got that there. And then you can see how the reward to risk has just increased. That's nearly a 3R trade. Let's see what that does for other trades. So we can see here we've got 23 pips. So what I'd do is I'd come to my high here. It says 86 pips. We want to be adding 23. So let's just round that up to 87. So we're going to be looking at 110 pip stop loss there. And still we achieve our 2-to-1 risk reward ratio. I wonder if it helps us down through this area here. So obviously we entered a trade around about this position when the market was below that 50 level, which was a little bit around this sort of area there. Now the stop loss on the swing high at this moment was quite high. It's a 52 pip stop loss. So we need to either look a price going above the swing high there, or we need to add it to the current high. So you've got 54. You're going to be looking around about 110 pips again on a stop loss there. Do we get the 2-to-1 on the 110 pip stop loss? We don't. We do get a little bit better in terms of we get very close to the 2-to-1, but we still do not achieve the 2-to-1 there. How about this long that we see? So the long there, we're looking at the low. We're going to add more to that. It's around about 30 pips, so it's not going to help us in this situation because you need at least a 230 pip stop loss. But what it does is it really kind of allows us to avoid that sort of potential wick low there. Because my stop was at the swing low, you know, spread could have knocked us out quite easily at that point, but it helped us stay in the position and prices move. Let's go on to what's happening with current price now then, because we did get a recent crossover back here. Obviously we've had this one as well, but let's have a little look at this crossover here. So everything kind of lines up as we get that crossover. I'm looking for price to be below the 50 on the RSI indicator. It's actually very similar to a strategy that I was talking about recently in the live streams. So we need at least an 80 to 90 pip stop loss on this one. This one would still be in around about 3.4 up. So in trending conditions, obviously this is going to be where it performs the best because it's a moving average crossover. Moving average, it's an average of closing prices, right? So you've got the 50 SMA and the 100 SMA there, and it's just basically calculating the average of the last 100 candles, the last 50 candles. So they are lagging behind. So you can see in many of these situations here, price is already kind of moving before it does get going. Now, a strategy that we talk about in the live streams is not too dissimilar to this, although it's not a 50 and 100, it's actually a 50 and a 200 moving average. And what we like to look for is when price has crossed over, we like to see it go above the RSI and then come back through the 50, not just that it's below it, because that to me shows us that the momentum is shifting. So for instance, here we get a shift where the market then goes below the 50 again, we come back above it, and then we go back below it. So around here would be our entry points. Every time then we come into the averages and we get that 50, then we can look for possible opportunities around these areas here. And that just increases your opportunity as trend continues. So very interesting then. Let's flip back to our ChatGPT. So these was the entry criteria that it gave us. So the answer is, can ChatGPT create a Forex trading strategy? It can, but the most important thing is once you get that strategy, then you need to go and back test it thoroughly so that we can understand what's going on in that particular strategy. And if it's something that works for you, then you should go ahead with it. If it's something that doesn't work for you and you think, no, that's complete rubbish, then you should not go ahead with it at all. But the most important thing is it can create one. How about going and having a little look yourself and seeing what it spits out? Thanks for watching the video update. I hope you enjoyed this type of content. If you did, leave it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel to see some more Forex trading content, and I'll catch you in the next video.